Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Pitchside. Like we told you, we are in Nairobi and we are catching up on a number of things, catching up on how ready the Kenya is, of course, with preparing for the CHAN tournament and of course AFCON 2027, but also most importantly is to catch up with some very important Kenyan football stakeholders to shed some light on the Kenyan football and tell us how far it's going. It's been a minute since we caught up with all of that. We have the pleasure of chatting to one of the top Kenyan journalists, sports journalists, I have to say, Eric Njiru. Eric, mambo, should I greet you that way?
Yeah, fit sana. Mambo poa. Mambo ya poa.
Okay.
What's like that.
All right, excited to have you on Pitchside.
Yeah, welcome to Nairobi. Enjoy the place. It's a good country. Of course, you're our neighbors. So,
yeah, that's very true. How is it, by the way? How is it going? How is life going from your perspective as Eric Njiru?
Well, life right now is probably, let's say, normal country-wise. It's normal football. I mean, we're picking up now from the last couple of months. We've just had elections. The national team is back now. I mean, the leagues are also ongoing. We're on the home stretch right now. So I can say things are not bad right now in Kenya.
Okay, you give a very brief but accurate, point. But briefly, overall, how is Kenyan football, and how at what level would you point it at right now as Eric Njiru?
Well, I mean, first of all, in terms of let's start with the leagues now. Leagues are okay for now. I mean, we have a broadcaster. We still don't have a title sponsor. So, in terms of football, it's being played, but we still want, like, let's say, more sponsors to come on board. TV man is good now. Some weekends we have, like, let's say 6 to 8 games live on TV, which is a big step forward. It's on Azam every weekend. I think the leagues are now okay. We've got like 3 teams in the territories. That is Tusker, Police, and Gor Mahia. So we can say people are now back into enjoying the leagues. They are now enjoying the games properly. In terms of the national team, we've just played our first game at home in like 4 years. We played Gabon a couple of months ago. I think the last international break that was in March, and you could see the turn-up was quite good. We lost the game to Gabon, but there was not excitement from the fans to come back. And immediately after that, we had the derby, Mashimash derby, and the stadium was full again. That was for AFC Leopards. The stadium was full. So you can say Kenyans are excited to have these games back in the country, because it was the first time we hosted the national team here. We haven't had a stadium ready for all those years, but now, I mean, the stadiums are back. Kasarani is being renovated, same with the new stadium. The other stadium in Gong Road, that is Talanta Stadium, is being constructed, should be ready by probably next year. So I think in terms of infrastructure, we are on the right path.
Okay. Well, when CAF broke the news that CHAN was going to be hosted by 3 nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, well, the reaction in Uganda was exciting. Maybe briefly tell us how people received the news that Kenya is going to co-host alongside Tanzania and Uganda.
Well, I mean, football people are excited, but there were those people who had doubts, because we've been given this chance to host tournaments before, like let's say AFCON in 1996, we had the CHAN 2018, but we were not able to deliver, So people are a bit pessimistic, and you can understand where they are coming from. We are optimistic that this tournament will come back here, will come to Nairobi and the other cities. And when that was announced, I mean, people were excited because we like to see all these stars play in Nairobi. I mean, look, we've got a new breed of young stars across the continent. Ahmad from Ivory Coast, Adigra from Ivory Coast, let's say Brahim Diaz from Morocco, the young kids from South Africa and from Egypt. We all want to see them in Nairobi, because Nairobi is a passionate city as far as football is concerned. So a lot of people, they know that, or they knew that we have the ability to host these tournaments, but also they knew that the government can slow down like they did in 2018 and 1996. But now we've seen movement in the last couple of months that proves that now we probably are ready to host these tournaments.
So that takes me to the question that Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania will accuse each other for making CAF to postpone the CHAN tournament. But would you think, or would you say that came in good faith, and how has that helped Kenya to actually prepare better from your perspective?
Well, I mean, first of all, to be realistic, the only nation that was ready was Tanzania. Uganda and Kenya are not ready.
Bro,
you guys were playing your games
we had
in Egypt.
Ready.
Listen,
yes.
For many months or many games, we played your games in Egypt, other places. And Nambole also was under renovation for some time. Same with Kasarania. We can say it was not that far, it was not that bad. So we can say it was just a couple of months before these stadiums are ready. And as far as the transport hotels are concerned, Kenya is far above or ahead of these 2 other countries. countries. But in terms of football, we can agree that yes, we were not that ready, and we've been able to pick from where we were. So getting this tournament with the support of Uganda and Tanzania, just like you said, I agree with you, it has, like, let's say, pushed us to do better and have these stadiums and facilities ready for the AFCON and for CHAN. So you can say it's probably like a big push.
Okay, both of us have covered major tournaments on the African continent, and we've seen the impact those tournaments leave in those countries. Eric, with your experience, how can these three nations leverage from the fact that they're going to host CHAN in August and also AFCON 2027? Those are two major tournaments.
Yeah, of course, the entire Africa and also the world is coming to this region. It is a chance for us now to prove like how good we are or what we can deliver. I mean, we've always gone to West Africa, Southern Africa, North Africa, always in Egypt, always in Tunisia, Morocco, and the world, Qatar, I mean Brazil, England, all these countries, but we've never had these tournaments in our time, at least here in East Africa. We've been hosting Sakafa, which is like our neighbors, but that's not as big as CHAN and AFCON. These tournaments, they leave a legacy in your country once you host it. I mean, we love training grounds left in schools, the stadiums, the buses, the road network will be improved, the connection between the three countries, because I've seen right now they're working on the Pamoja visa to enable movement of people between the three countries, and also the airports will be improved. So we'll have that impact. When we were in Ivory Coast a couple of months ago, we saw the training grounds being renovated or done in schools, and we would like to see that like now here in Kenya, Nairobi, we've got a lot of schools who play football and they don't have, like, let's say, a good stadium. We should be able to partner even with universities like Strathmore or University of Nairobi and do a good pitch for them where teams can go and train there, because we'll be having, let's say, at least a group in every country. We don't have to have all teams training at Nya Stadium. Let's have like one team training at the University of Nairobi where there's a good, they do a good mini stadium. Let's say another unit like KU, like Strathmore, all these universities that we have in the city. And then now when this Cup of Nations or CHAN is done, after that you'll see the impact. And obviously the leagues, people will focus more now on the leagues. When Qatar hosted the World Cup, people are still talking about their leagues. You can see now they've been able to attract the guys like Coutinho, our captain plays there. So as far as they hosted that big tournament, people still now get interested, and tourists are coming to the country. So in Kenya, we already have tourists coming to these three countries because of the safari and other things, but I do think with football, the guys will come because of football and also want to see other places like, let's say, Masai Mara, the Nairobi National Park. So it will benefit almost everyone in the countries.
Yeah, and of course adding that Uganda and Tanzania also have very, very good tourist sites where fans and different people can actually go out there and enjoy. Now let's bring the focus back to Kenyan football, especially on the pitch. The Harambee Stars under coach Benni McCarthy. There's a lot that has been said when Benni was announced as head coach. Let's begin from there. What was your reaction? What's your reaction about Benni being head coach of the Harambee Stars?
I mean, it was a big move, big statement from the country, because we've not had, let's say, a big name coach in our national team for a long time. When Engine Firat did his bit, we had the other managers, Paul Put, I mean, Adela Mboshi was here, they all did their bit. But getting Benni to Kenya was a big statement, because Benni was coaching Man United, their forwards, was a forward striker. So it's a big statement for us, and like we've seen those two games that we played, he's not afraid to make mistakes. He's not afraid to be, and he's an attacking-minded manager. That's what I like about it. We were trailing Gabon, and they threw in like two forwards, which is good for me. So I think it's a good signing going forward, because that is what fans wanted. For the longest, fans were not happy with some of the appointments that were being done, but the reaction that we got after reporting this news is that people really like it. People really like him.
The direction that he wants to take the team. You've covered the games. You've watched the training sessions. What do you pick from that, and where do you see the Harambee Stars going forward with him?
Well, we have a long way to go. We have to accept the reality. We cannot just say results like that. We are lucky that after this AFCON, the next one in 2027, we don't have to go for the qualifiers. Okay, we'll play the games, but we've already qualified. That means now we can focus more on improving our game. We've not been able to qualify for the last couple of AFCONs. I think in Cameroon we're not there, Ivory Coast we're not there, and now the one that is coming in Morocco over the Christmas period, we will not be there. So we have to accept the reality that we're not that good, but we need time to build whatever we're going to do at home. And Benni now will have all that time now to choose the best players. We've seen a new group of players like Mohamed Bajaber. this year. Good player from Police FC, used to play for Nairobi City Stars, and now we want to see more players like those ones now coming to the team, getting more friendly with decent sides. We don't want to play small teams anymore. Again, okay, we don't want to play like, let's say, teams that are below us. We want to play teams that give us a good challenge and see where we are. As far as we still have the World Cup qualifiers and the upcoming AFCON qualifiers, we want to see some high flying friendlies, because playing at home in the African football is quite a big advantage. Ivory Coast are not that good, but they won it because of Inshallah and other things, and so you can build on that, have some good talent, and I do believe that you can do good.
Okay, on that Harambee Stars team, there are a number of players now who have become regulars over and over several campaigns. You have Michael Olunga, the captain, who Benny talked about so well. But when you look at the transition of younger players coming in, from your perspective, do you think the Harambee Stars at some point will be ready for a post-Olunga era, for a post-Marcelo era, for a post-Ayub Timbe or any other player in that midfield, Teddy Akumu era? From where you are, do you think that era is about to come?
Well, we need to accept the fact that transition in national teams is not that easy by every time. Anywhere in the world, it's not like clubs where every week we've got a player coming from the bench. It's like Duran and Watkins. You were able to ease them into the team every now and then. But for the national teams, it's not like that. National teams play like, let's say, 6 or 9 times per year, 9 games per year, and that's not easy for you to ease someone into the team. Olunga has been one of the best players that we've had. I mean, it's like one of the top scorers in this country, and we also have a challenge of strikers that, like, in this country. Gor Mahia is struggling right now for a striker. Tusker has been scoring goals here and there, but Oguma has also gone down. When that time comes, I think transition will have to be done slowly. We've seen the juniors right now, they've just played in Egypt for the under 20s. The other ones who played in the Sekafa, the under 18s, the under 17s. Now, because they've been focusing on those junior teams, we can only hope that we'll have these young players coming into the team slowly. But replacing Olunga will not be that easy. We also took time to replace Olech, that's where now Olunga came the other day. I went to school with Olunga, so that can tell you the difference between Olunga's era and Olech's era. And for national teams, you don't have the ability of going out there and buying players. You can only get what you have in your country. It will not be easy to transition from these players, but we just have to get there and do it slowly by slowly. And Benny being a forward striker, he was a striker himself, he scored many goals. I mean, in good hands to transition to another striker.
You talk about Benny, and what he did is definitely something that he can borrow from and help the Harambee Stars, transition and all. Let's talk about the new FKF, government, if I could call it that way. Leadership under Hussein Mohammed and his assistant McDonald Mariga. For starters, how did people receive the news that the Nick Mwenda era had come to an end, and a new lease of life had come into Kenyan football? And would you say that so far they are really, really living up to what they said they would do?
Well, first of all, I think the reaction depends on where people were. There are those who are supporting Nick to stay. There are those who are supporting Hussein to come into the office. But you can say the general feeling, I mean, a lot of people were quite happy that there's a new regime. I mean, Nick were there for like 8 years. So every time there's a new person, whether it's been bad or good, there's always that positive hope. People hope that the guy will do better than the one who was there. A new broom sweeps better every time you buy one. And when they were elected, Mariga is a former captain, former player for the Harambee Stars, won the Champions League with Inter Milan in 2010. So there was that hope, and there was also support from government, the political class. I used to see him in State House. So you can feel that hope from the people. And what I feel from them, I think it's quite early to judge them because they have found many issues to deal with. They came mid-season. They came in December. The season started in August. Now we're finishing the season. They have many issues to deal with. We still have the Mozart Bet Cup issue between AFC and I think Mara Sugar, who they are here to solve that. There's also match fixing issues with Matasi being accused here and there. There are many things that they have to deal with right now. And to be honest, they have not done that bad. One thing about the last regime, Nick, is that they laid structures, good structures, on how things can be done. Because before that, where the other regime before Nick, things were just being done normal like Kenyeji, but now Kinani came. They may not have been perfect, but we have to give them credit for what they did. Players being paid this money, this how they should be paid, change should be like this. The national teams are out there like this time and that time. So for me, I do think these guys who have come into office, it's quite early to judge them, but they've started well. I mean, nothing bad has happened for now, we can say that. And we've been able to qualify we qualified for under 20s, I think, before they went out, and now things are okay. I mean, things are running as they should. We hope that the league will finish well. The Arabic Stars will be able. They hired Benni, which is good. I mean, we all wanted it, and now we can only hope to build better for the next AFCON that we're hosting, because now we're missing this one, and the World Cup looks like we don't have any hope for now.
Yeah, you talk about not having the hope for the World Cup, but I still want to drop in a question about Hussein Mohammed and McDonald Mariga.
Yeah.
Where do you think their focus should be? Of course, they have a lot of things to do, but what are those things, 2 or 3, that you feel they should focus on? Because my next question was going to be about the Kenya Premier League. Do you feel there are some things that have to be improved in the league, and what are those in relation to the new team in FKF?
I mean, the big challenge that they have right now is managing the league, because we have TV is working well now. We have Azam is paying the club's money. Now the next project now is to find a title sponsor for this league, because these players and these teams, they need more money. They need title sponsors. Title winners need to win some good money. That is one thing they can be able to work on. I mean, they fought a good running league. Gor Mahia, Police and Tusker fighting for it, and they've shown a good will to do things. So you can only hope that now, and it's not easy, but they're getting sponsors, especially for a league like this that is just starting to be on TV every single weekend, and how many people are watching. So first of all, and this is everyone's by their duty, even as journalists and the bloggers, we need to talk more about this game. We need to promote this game, this league a lot, so that they can be able to sell it FKF now and get a title sponsor, because that is the only thing now we're lacking for now, and that will improve the welfare of our players. I do think in terms of TV we are good for now. So Hussein's biggest project right now, we'll have to make the league consistent in terms of money that is coming to the league, because from there now the Harambee Stars will be good, will be fed with good players, and we also have players from abroad. But the local players now, the leagues and also the other leagues, NSL, the county leagues, those ones, they'll be also managed well, but we need to find a title sponsor and more money for the league. For the league.
Yeah. Let's talk about the 2 biggest clubs in Kenyan football, Gor Mahia and FC Leopards. When you look at the history, Gor are the team of late that has been running the show, while AFC Leopards have been there and about. Let's start with the AFC, because the Gor side is one you can tell me well about. What's the problem with the AFC Leopards? Because you want to think if they were equally competing like Gor, maybe you would have more vibrancy and more hype in the league.
I mean, I think the difference between AFC Leopards and Gor Mahia is ambition. If you look at in terms of recruitment, AFC recruit a lot locally or from Western, but for Gor Mahia, they have packaged themselves as this international club or regional club where we can go to Uganda, get a good player, go to Rwanda, get a good player. We have a player now from Ghana, he's called Morrison, is a very good player, and Gor is also able to get the best players from some of the other teams, including AFC Leopard. We've gone there, taken Austin Odhiambo. A lot of players dream of playing for Gor Mahia from these other clubs, because Gor Mahia is always playing CAF games, or Gor Mahia is seen more on TV than the other teams. So when you play for Gor Mahia, you're marketing yourself more than playing for the other teams. I was just checking the schedule of TV from when Azam came, and I think Gor Mahia has been the most viewed team. They've been on TV almost every weekend, apart from when they're playing probably in Murang'a where Azam don't go. But when you play for Gor Mahia, I think there's more money, there's more viewership, and that is now the difference between Gor Mahia and AFC. And also AFC they sack managers now and then. Their management also issues here and there, but issues are everywhere in this country in all the teams. But I think the difference between Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards, why AFC Leopards is lagging behind and have not won the league in like 21 years, is that ambition. I don't think AFC can go to Ghana right now and get one of the best players, or to Uganda or Tanzania. And most of these players who leave our country now also from Gor to other teams like Olunga or Malas Binia, Austin is there now, and they're all going to leave at some point. They all play for Gor Mahia. That is the difference between AFC and Gor. Well, AFC still have that fan base just like Gor Mahia, but they ought to be more ambitious, use their money properly, get more players, better players from outside the country, or let's say go even to Gor Mahia and get their best player.
Okay, for Gor Mahia, recently held the elections. Ambrose Rashe is back in office. He's been there for I don't know, God knows how long. Do you think it's helping the club to move forward? Do you think he still has it to actually take the club beyond where they are right now as Gor Mahia?
One thing about Gor Mahia and football in Kenya, it's not easy to manage clubs in this country, especially in times where there are no sponsors. There was a time when we had no Azam, so Gor were depending on SportPesa, or even there was a time that SportPesa was not there after COVID when they had issues with the government. There was a time BetSafe came. Running teams need someone with kahuns, like someone who can fundraise for a team today and that team is going to Mombasa tomorrow. Because like now for Gor Mahia, their budget is so big. Let's say they have to fly to Mombasa or to Kisumu, that bus has to be fuel. So running these teams, not just anyone who can run these teams, to be honest. Even when we have these elections, I've seen FC Leopards have elections in a couple of weeks. Not just anyone who can manage these teams. It needs some balls to manage these teams. For Gor Mahia, Rachel, as far as people complain, and we complain that he's been there for many years, and we call him Ambrose Mugabe Rachel. Rachel has got connections in this country. He's a top player, top council in this country. He knows who is who in this country. And Gor Mahia will never miss a match. They will always pay their players. The bus will be full. They will always get flights to go out there. They will always have sponsors because of Rachel. Managing this team means someone like Rachel. We may not like him like being there, but for now it is what it is. We may want Gor Mahia to be somewhere else. Now, in terms of commercial value, that is where now Gor Mahia needs to work on it, because Gor Mahia, to be honest, is bigger than Simba and Yanga. Gor Mahia is the biggest team in Eastern Africa. The only thing we need to manage properly is, which we've gotten right now, right? I think we've gotten the kit selling. Now they're being sold in Italy by one person in the same one shop, which is good. We've gotten that one. We need to streamline the ticketing, which is now happening well by selling tickets online, although it's still not 100%. We also need to manage our club properly, our image outside there. We need to package ourselves as the biggest club in Eastern Africa. People need to know this club more than they know Simba and more than they know Yanga. We have that potential, but at some point things just didn't work the way they're supposed to work. We can call Gor Mahia a sleeping giant in terms of, like, let's say, commercial value out there in Africa. Gor Mahia need to be consistently in the CAF Champions League, not in the preliminaries, but in the group stage matches, because that is what Simba and Yanga have gotten right. Every season they're either in the Confederation Cup or in the Champions League. We may be unlucky at some point because sometimes we play Al Ahly or Zamalek in the preliminaries, which is quite hard for us now to go through. But I do think if Gor Mahia gets that commercial value side properly, this club will go back to where it was in probably 1987.
Yeah, but my question is, with what you've explained, the importance of the club having commercial value, currently right now, is the chairman Ambrose Rashe right, or is in the right position to lead the club to a better commercial value?
Yes, I think he is. What he needs to do is that he needs to get a team that can be able to put this Gor Mahia up there. We've just had the elections for Gor Mahia. There's a new vice chairman, Sally. There are other executives who have come into the office. So what we need to do is that we need to get a commercial team, because every club in the world, we've got their chairman, their CEOs, but there's a whole team somewhere else that does the commercial, advertising, all these things, branding, just like agency for players. That is one thing that now Gor Mahia needs to set up. And Ambrose Rashe, I know, and I believe that he can do that. He can be able to get that. If he sets that up now, to be able to commercialize this club, I think we can achieve all our goals as far as commercial value is concerned.
What's your opinion on Ugandan football?
Ugandan football, honestly, I think talent-wise, talent is there. I mean, we always play. I can say our rivalry, we win this time round, you win next time, and we've not played you guys in some years now, the national team. But I think the Ugandan football, just like looking at the stadium, the renovated stadium, I think it's in the right direction. But you see the way we know Gor Mahia, Simba, Yanga. For Uganda, we still need to have like that massive hype around the biggest club, because the biggest clubs now are the ones who run football in every country. I cannot say it's bad, because ranking-wise, I think ranking-wise you are above us in Tanzania.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, but national team rankings depend on many things that happened in the past, not just like, let's say, the last 3 or 4 years. So I don't have any bad thing to say about Uganda. I can say it's okay because you guys are going to AFCON now.
Yeah, we're not going. Where you guys are not going? We're going to represent East Africa.
Tanzania is there also.
We and Tanzania represent representing East Africa? Rwanda, Kenya?
We don't want to be represented. We represent ourselves when we go there, when we come back to Nairobi.
But you're not going there.
Don't worry about us, please. We've not sent you to go and represent us. Don't give yourself job. Usinipatie kazi mtu wangu. So, usitufunze kazi. So the point here is that Uganda, obviously, you're in the right direction, because as far as the national team is concerned, you're okay. You're going to AFCON. We're not. Paul Put, your coach, was our coach. Yeah. But look at us where we are right now. We're still rebuilding again and again and again. So Uganda, as far as the national team is concerned, you're okay.
All right. So of course, there's been a very sharp increase in fans and attending games in Kenya. At some point there was silence, but all that has changed. How have fans been engaged to actually come back to stadiums and watch games and passionately support? I saw Benni McCarthy talking about how he was surprised with the Harambee Stars and the fans, how they came up in large numbers. What has been the driving force for the fans to come?
Three things. One of them, we were banned by FIFA, suspended by FIFA in 2021. That is one of the reasons why fans were out of the stadium, because there was no football, national team was not played, so there was no other hype. Number two, there were no stadiums. Stadiums have just come back right now. Your stadium has been closed for like 5 years. See, the stadium has been closed for like 6 years now. People still don't go there. Dandora has just come up the other year. Kasarani being renovated. So stadium has been one of the main reasons why we don't go to the stadium. People don't come to the stadiums. The other reason has been the team performing. That game that we played away, we played Gambia. That game played a key role in having fans come to the stadium against Gabon, because we scored 3 goals, 3-3. It's been so long since we saw.
And somehow you came back into the game, like you kept fighting.
Exactly, guys saw how we played, and we also saw new names, new faces. We saw Mohamed Bajaber there. I mean, we don't see some of these names in the national team. We've seen them right now, and that was a big factor to come to the stadium. And after that game that was played, the stadiums now were opened the following match day, and we were able to go to Nyayo Stadium. And after Nyayo Stadium for the Harambee Stars, the derby came immediately after that. So there was that excitement still. People have to go to the stadium. And for the leagues now, the reason why that derby was full is because AFC Leopards and Gor Mahia have not played the big stadium for some time now, because the stadiums have been closed. Gor plays in Dandora, in Kisumu, in Machakos, AFC Leopards, Dandora, now and then. So the first time in Nyayo Stadium, big stadium, it's a derby. Guys are looking forward to that game, and there was a good build-up from the media, from the fans, from the bloggers, from social media, everyone. So I can say that one contributed big, and we can only wait now and see how things happen.
And finally, government's support towards Kenyan football, has it shot up? Has it played a major role in trying to make sure that these facilities are there, the fans love what they're seeing, the coach is coming in, and stuff like that?
Well, the only credit that I can give the government is only the stadium. That's it. They have tried right now at least. Kasarani is being renovated for AFCON, same Nyayo Stadium, and there's a new stadium coming up in Gong Road, that is the Talanta City Stadium. Those 3 stadiums, I mean, I can give them credit for that, and we do believe and trust that they will be ready by the end of the year, or let's say by next year. So that is the only credit that I give them. I don't know about the other issues, supporting the federation, supporting the teams. I have no idea about them, because they talk a lot and they do less. But for the stadium, I can give them credit for that.
All right, your final words to Ugandans out there, and probably tell us when you're showing up in Kampala, so that we also give you a very good treat when you show up.
Well, Uganda, I just want to wish you guys all the best when you go to Morocco for the AFCON. Let me tell you, you are our neighbors and our friends, but if you lose games, they're right there. We will be with you. We will be there. We always know how to work on people when they lose games. As Kenyans, we're born haters, but we love you guys. You're our neighbors, and we're coming to Uganda very soon. Probably, let's say, for the next round of matches in September. September now? No, we're going to June. No, September. September is good for me. That is when I can come to Uganda to see the games there, and probably the derby when you guys have the derby next time.
But also the CHAN. When CHAN starts.
When CHAN starts now, we have to come, because we have games Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. So we have to check out the flights are to Entebbe, and we can organize. So if you're not playing, I would like to attend our first game in Kenya, also go to Uganda's first game and Tanzania's first game, because it's easy. We've got flights across those 3 countries. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Eric.
I'm not rich, I'm just living within my means.
How are you running away from being rich?
Nah, it's Nairobi. Life is hard.
All right.
Yeah,
all right, Eric.
Knows.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate you, man. You've taken time out to, give us a very extensive, review of Kenyan football, and how prepared people should be, and what they should look out for, and the shortfalls as well. I really appreciate you for passing by on pitch side. We are speaking to very influential people in Kenyan football. And the one I just sat with is one of those. We are proudly powered by 3T Sports Center. If you're out there, you're a sports person looking for quality sports gear and authentic, go to 3T Sports Center that is located in Bokoto, and you'll definitely get yourself everything. You'll definitely see the contact number down there. Hit them up, get everything that you need. But like I keep saying, keep it pitchside, subscribe, and check out more content. Cheers.